Welcome to What Not to Do. I'm Kyle Schmidt, and this is episode 22. I've got Ryan Klein. He's a former high school classmate of mine, but he's also the COO and co-founder of Opus Communications. Opus is Latin for business, and they are doing business right. Ryan's also got some Q-tips for you. What he means is quit taking it personally. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right. So I am here with Ryan Klein.
Hello.
He is one of the founders of Opus Communications.
Yep.
Business done right.
That's right. Yes. Opus being Latin for business. Very good.
Yeah, which is awesome. We are at The Exchange in West of here. This is my second time here, and it's a fantastic coffee shop. Ryan's first time here.
It really is awesome, yeah.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a chai latte. Very yummy. My taste hasn't evolved to like bitter stuff like coffee or even beer, which I'm German, and for me to not like beer, I feel like I'm the worst German ever.
There's some form of sin in that for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, something's not right. We should get that checked out. But that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, man, for being on the show.
Of course.
Yeah. Fun thing. So Ryan and I actually graduated together from Ashwaubenon High School in 2004.
2004, awesome. Yeah, forever ago.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Yep.
I was really half the man then that I am today, which is great. And but it's all in the beard.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, you've changed so much since I remember seeing you last. Like, you've evolved majorly.
Like good or like?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Was that a fat joke?
You demand respect. I think your presence in a room, which is again, yes, a very awesome thing to have.
So in high school, I did not demand respect. I was very unrespectable. So I'm teasing. So it's so fun.
That's not where I was going with that.
Right. Ryan reached out to me. Man, it was probably last year, just to tell me what he was doing with Opus, and that was so cool. Was able to like the page and support them, and they are doing some really cool things. So I'm excited to hear from Ryan more on that. But Ryan, I'm just. Like I said before off air, I'm excited just to catch up with you, man. So you're probably going to share this with folks in your network, but there's also probably a lot of folks who have no idea who Ryan Klein is, never even heard of Opus Communications. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about who you are? Who's Ryan? Family, what do you like to do? Where do you come from?
Wow, stuff. Loaded question. All right. Well, a little bit about Ryan. Let's see. Had originally got married to my high school sweetheart.
Nice.
Yeah, and we have two kids together, a 9-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son.
Awesome.
I was very fortunate to have one of each genders because that was ultimately the goal.
Yeah.
And I was going to pump out as many kids as necessary to have at least one of each. So luckily one of each, Sophia and Sawyer. Couldn't be polar opposites if they tried. Just one loves one thing and the other kid hates that, and vice versa. So that makes things interesting. Recently divorced. We just grew, separate. Lives got super busy. Yeah. And we just didn't make time for each other. So we remain good friends, but single, bachelor on the prowl, which is interesting and fun.
Ladies, you hear that?
Yeah, right. Had gone to college for a little bit in WTC and went there for a 2-year degree, decided I wanted to do a 4-year degree, so I transferred to UWGB, got a job in sales because I was working at a bank and they had banker hours, which you think would be great, but UWGB's hours weren't flexible enough to make that work. So I got a job at sales, which had, really bad hours, weekends, but it was flexible enough that I could do my college full-time and go to school full-time, and work full-time. Well, not 3 months after joining the job that I had for sales, they changed their scheduling tool where it wasn't flexible at all, and I had to be stuck on a set schedule.
This is Zales, the jewelry store?
No, I'm sorry, just sales.
Sales.
Yeah, it was at AT&T, which I loved working at, and so I had to make a decision: stay at AT&T or go to school. Well, the money that I was making in sales at AT&T was really good, especially for how young I was.
Yeah.
So I made the decision to drop out of school, do sales, and that's basically what I've been doing ever since, is doing sales, and now it's evolved where I'm not selling for someone else. I'm doing my own stuff. I'm doing my own sales. And
there you are.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's so cool. And, oh, man, yeah. So, so when you're not selling, you love your family, you spend time with your kiddos, you're on the prowl, right? What else do you enjoy doing? You have hobbies, interests, that kind of stuff?
Man, my time with my kids take up, and I know it's a lame answer, but I swear, my kids are my world, and without them, I couldn't even imagine what my world would look like. So I have them in so many sports. They're going to sleepovers. We're going to fun places like trampoline parks, which, by the way, Appleton has like 5 awesome trampoline parks that you definitely have to visit. There's this new one I think it's called Urban Air. And they have virtual reality. They have a go-kart. They got like 12 different trampoline parks. They have bumper cars. They have rock climbing walls. They're not associated with this podcast of any sorts, but yeah, it's an awesome place to bring your kids to. So doing stuff like that, trying to fit in, dating when I can, which is, a hard thing to do, but it's fun. And meeting new people and, working on the business. It's not enough time in a day, but, I make it work.
I've heard it said that a full plate is better than an empty one.
Yes,
so
I agree.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I can relate. I mean, we've got our own tribe at home. We call them our little hobbits or schminions.
Nice.
My last name is Schmitz, and so it's a little play on stuff, and it's fun, man.
How many kids you got?
Yeah, so we've got 3 and 1 on the way. So 3, 2, and 1. Boy, girl, boy, and then we got a little girl coming in about 3 weeks at the time of this recording.
You are going to be so busy when that child comes.
Yeah.
I can't. Wow.
But
that's awesome.
Exactly what you said. Busy with good things. Right?
Yeah, for sure. So is this what you wanted? Like 4 kids, or was this an accident, or like?
Yeah, we didn't realize how things worked.
Yeah, right.
No, we got married a little bit later in life, and so we knew that we wanted to have kids. We know that there's a biological clock that ticks. Yep. And so we said, well, hey, let's go for it. And we've just been super thankful. Feel very blessed that we have the kids that we have. And we don't have a number set. So maybe we'll get up to the double digits. Who knows? But
yeah,
I'm teasing. But we love it. We love kids, and we'll see what the future holds. So we take every pregnancy 1 kid at a time.
Sure. Yeah.
It's harder on the father than it is on the mom. I know.
Oh, everyone knows that. That's true. Yeah. The best advice my dad gave me with kids is that he always said, you can find a million excuses not to have them.
Yeah.
But you'll find a way to make it work. So if you want a family, if you want kids, have those kids. You'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Stop making reasons not to have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because it's like you get a crack at really shaping the next generation of leaders, right?
Yeah.
It's think about the dynamics. You're running a company, helping to found it, and you're going to have employees underneath you. Maybe you already do, and it's like you help to shape them. You're helping to build them. You're helping to set them up for success, which is going to make you and the company more successful. And we could do that. Like, since when will we want to do that with our own kids, right? With our own, blood. And it's cool. So it's an exciting thing for us to see even their own personal development. Your kids are a little bit further along than ours, and so I'm sure that's been a reward for you to see them grow and mature and get to know who they are and their
unique personalities. Yeah, for sure.
And then figure out how you can help to set them up for success in life. It's just so cool. So
it's crazy to think about that. When if you take a step back, you see older people, President Trump, or CEOs of big companies like Apple, and they're 50 or 60 years old, and you're thinking we're not a piece of that pie. Yeah. But like we are, man. Like that's who we are. We're gonna get there. We could potentially be the next CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, and maybe we have it in the works right now to make that happen. Yeah. And the fact for our kids that could potentially be doing that soon, it's the time is now, basically.
Ryan Klein for president.
There we go. 2024. There we go. Yeah.
I love it. No, that's cool. And I actually love that thought too, because man, I think one thing that plagues folks in our day and age is how small we think.
Right. Yes.
How small we think, and I think one of the best things that we can do is learn how to think bigger. Yep. And it's kind of been like we were talking about this again a little bit off air, but you left a really good job, a well-paying job, to take a risk on building your own business, and it's kind of funny because it's like. That used to be a little bit of the norm, like the entrepreneurial thing, like productivity wrapped up in the household, and this is what you had to do. And then we got comfortable along the way.
Right.
And then it's like somehow, some way, it's become more appealing to us, more attractive to us to go work for someone else and build someone else's dream and give up on all ours. Because we think, well, it's not possible, or we can never make money doing that, or that's just a dream. Look, everyone has a dream, and it is just a dream until you actually have a vision and execute a plan and strategy to go for it, and then take action and do it, right? And you can do that for yourself, like you've done or are doing, or you can do that for someone else. It doesn't mean doing it for someone else is bad. It just means you just know the options. But that idea of small thinking.
If you're working for someone else, you're not working for your full worth.
Yes.
That's the way I look at it. Yeah. So, I mean, complacency is the enemy here. It's easy. You get a paycheck. You're guaranteed from, 1 week to the next that you're going to have that income, and life goes on. And do what makes you happy, obviously. So if you're fine with that, then great. But there's so much more that you could be doing, and again, working for someone else, you really limit yourself on what that could be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're working for yourself, you can make those decisions to make a difference in a business, whereas working for a big corporation, they have the rules set in black and white. Here's what you have to do, and if you don't like it, well, there's the door.
Yeah, and there's a place for folks, right? Like, I mean, you're going to build a company, and you're going to have employees that come help to build your dream, right? And that's not a bad thing. But you want to voluntarily make that choice.
Right.
You don't want that choice to be made for you because you didn't get clear on what you wanted in life, and you didn't set goals and all that kind of stuff. So you just tried to find the best paying gig that you could, doing something for someone else, right?
Yeah, it's all about stepping stones. So, like, you don't go from A to Z, instantly. You got to, get some experience underneath your belt. So, like, what we do, we're a telecommunications broker, and the only reason I started doing this is because I had experience working for other people in the telecommunication field. So I got no regrets working for them. I love the experience and I love the field. And again, it's not realistic to think that from day one I could have done this by myself. No, it's definitely something you have to do, is work for someone else and get the ins and outs of an industry.
Yeah. So let's piggyback off of that. So you're at AT&T, crushing it, helping people to get what they want. By the way, if you're listening to this and you're in sales is not about you making money. Sales is not about you getting other people to do what you want them to do. Sales is about understanding what others want and helping them to get that.
Yeah. Right? You were in sales too, right? Yeah. So you know just as well as I do that it's that, and also it's not necessarily about how much you know. It really comes down to your personality and how much you care. Yeah, because if you're just reading from a script, talking to someone, they can tell that you're being robotic. But if you're actually speaking like truthfully and from the heart and trying to have some compassion and like telling them this is going to benefit them, they're more likely to listen as opposed to a robotic pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. If they sense that you actually care about their success and helping them to get what they want,
right,
you are going to be successful and you will get what you want.
Yeah.
It's people first, money second in that regard. A lot of things go wrong when the money comes first and people are second.
Yep.
So take us from the AT&T and then lead us into what you're doing now with Opus. What is it even that you guys are doing? You don't have to give us trade secrets or anything like that, but just kind of give us some context. What are you doing? And
so I got two other business partners, and we all have a lot of telecommunication experience.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we came together, is because we all were working at the same company at the time. And I'm not here to bash anyone, but when you work for a telecommunication provider, they have agendas. Like any sales team's got to have.
Dun.
Right. So a quota.
Yeah.
A company needs to make money, so they're under obligations to make so much money, to increase revenue, maybe to sell something that makes a company a lot of money, that you get paid very, very well to sell, but maybe might not be the best fit for that company to have. You kind of force it in, like, hey, you should get this. Well, do I need it? That's irrelevant. Like, you should still get it, like mentality where sometimes it caused me not to be able to sleep super well at night, knowing that I really didn't need to sell this customer this product. And again, I'm not saying that any one company I did this for, and I'm not going to name whatever, but working at Opus, starting this business called Opus Communications, we are a telecommunications broker. So we have agreements with every single service provider, whether it be, AT&T, Verizon, Spectrum, Comcast, et cetera, to be able to provide and quote their services to any businesses in America.
Yeah.
So a company, what they would do is that they'd come to us and be like, hey, Ryan, we got a business here, here, and here, and we're looking at, telephone and internet solutions. Well, you could go directly to AT&T, and they might give you a solution that could fit at this one location, but they're not a good fit at this other location because they don't actually have services there. But there's ways that they can make it seem like they do by rebranding and reselling someone else's service. Whereas if you just would have went direct to some other company, let's say AT&T and Spectrum, you'd be saving a lot of money. But again, AT&T then would be losing business on that second location, and they don't want that. They want to get as much money as possible. So what we do, we'll provide customers with every single company's service and cost, and we have experience to talk about the pros and cons with every service provider and let you guys make that decision. And our service is completely free. And yeah, we feel like it's just working with the customer as opposed to being on the opposite side of the table from the customer.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So help me understand if I'm understanding you correctly. So if I had 3 businesses,
yep,
one in, let's just say 3 different states,
right.
If let's say AT&T was great for Wisconsin, Verizon was great for Texas, and Sprint was great for California, I could, trying to go through every one of those is not only not good for me, because if I were trying to go to them directly, I would have to pick all 3 I'd pick one for all 3 states. And that might not be the best deal. And on the other side, it might not be the best deal for AT&T, right? Because they might be losing money, like you said, on those other locations or whatever it goes.
That is a large time commitment too, because you're gonna have to work with 3 different companies.
Yeah.
Wait for 3 different responses. So yeah, exactly.
So then, when you guys come in, and in a sense, you have like a brokerage model.
Exactly.
Where you're saying if you thought of like AT&T and Verizon as captive agencies for folks that kind of understand that world, you're coming in as a broker. Where say like, hey, you don't have to just have AT&T for everything. Like you don't have to have just State Farm for everything, right? You can have this or this or this. Like let's piece this together to get you the best solution for your unique needs, and you're doing that for free.
Correct. So they'll get a list for every location of what their options are and pricing. And again, since we have the ability to price out service ourselves, our business model is to always just do floor pricing. We guarantee the cheapest possible price for every single service provider at every single location. So again, you'll see a service location A, this option's the cheapest. Service location B, this option's the cheapest. And service location C, this option's the cheapest. Whereas again, if you go directly to a company, they want all your business, and they're not going to tell you that other companies are going to be a better option for their other locations.
Now, I'll probably say saying I don't want you to overshare as far as if this gets into like trademark stuff. Keep it to yourself.
Sure.
But are you presenting the options for free to the customer, or do they at some point have to pay you for the services, or do the providers pay you? Or
so super good question. You'd be surprised how many customers think it's too good to be true. All the time we hear, well, what's the catch? How why should I do business with you? Wouldn't I be better just going directly to AT&T or whoever? Yeah. And there is no catch. What we do is that the service providers pay us when we get them a contract for a service. So no different than a sales rep who works directly for the company. Yeah. They get paid commission for a sale. So do we. No different. So that's why we don't charge a customer a single penny. We don't even have them sign any paperwork at all. Like there's no commitment to have to utilize our service if they don't want. Yeah. But hopefully they realize that we invest a lot of time to benefit them, to show them all their options, and that they decide to proceed using our service.
Yeah, that's amazing. It seems like you guys have struck at a real gap in the industry, and are innovation is such a cool word. But you really did, like on the model side of things, saying how can we bring a better solution to this issue?
Yeah, right.
That's actually not just providing value to the business of the customers, but to everyone on every side of the table. And that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, it doesn't cut anyone out. Like AT&T is acquiring new customers. Customers are saving time and money because we're getting them the best possible options. We're still getting paid because AT&T pays us. Like again, there's no really downside with this company that we started, because everyone still wins.
Yeah, and that's like an example before. AT&T, profits on Wisconsin, what they lose on Texas and California. So it would be more advantageous, instead of taking a bigger loss, to pay you guys, a commission or whatever it would be called on Wisconsin. Knowing that that's going to be really, really profitable, and assuming they're also going to start to get more business through you guys, right? Because people have more flexibility and options now. That makes perfect sense, and I love it because you're really delivering just awesome value in a very creative way, in a timely way, to everyone on all sides of the table, which is cool.
For sure. Yeah, and again, it's such a great business, but there's my fair share of hardships that come along with this as well. Like again, so many people think it's too good to be true. And I'm sure we can talk about that when we get to that point. But yeah, you'd think it'd be a slam dunk for all businesses to utilize our service, but it's a grind.
All right, man. So tell me why. Why do you do what you do? Why'd you leave a good, cushy job to go kind of risk it all, burn the ships, and build your own thing?
So yeah, man. Like I had this job where I was getting paid six figures Monday through Friday. I could work from home, super flexible hours. It was a super good gig that I had, and I left it. I'm always super motivated. Like, from a very young age, I've always strived for advancements, and it's just who I am. And the company that I was at, there really was no advancement opportunities. So again, yes, it's paying a lot of money, but I thought to myself, do I really want to do what I'm doing right now for the same pay for the next 20 years of my life? Like, that scares me, and it's so, for lack of a better word, boring.
Is this it?
Yeah. So then I thought to myself, okay, I could do this for the next 20 years, or I could try to find something else to do. Yeah. It's a lifelong dream, the American dream, to have, your own business and make money. And like I said before, anytime you work for someone else, you're never truly working for what you're worth. And so I decided to make this jump, and haven't looked back since.
That's awesome, man. So it's really, you said this earlier, complacency.
Yes.
You are fighting the plague of complacency.
I am. And
you're starting by doing that in your own life and modeling that. Hopefully your kids will take on from that. Hopefully the world, where they see you got something really, really good. And that's great, but you wanted more. And it meant going all in, not being complacent where you're at, and going all in on, you could lose it all, right? You could all fail and all kind of stuff, but great, you're going to strive to get back up, learn.
That's just it, yeah. I mean, the only way to learn, I'm probably going to butcher this saying, but the only way to learn is with failure, I think, is the saying that goes along with that. Or the best way to learn is with failure. And, if you want to stay at one place forever, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. There's a lot of benefits of, profit sharing and 401k and pensions that come with companies that if you stay for a long time can really add up. So I'm not advocating job jumping, but at the same time, just make sure that, again, you're not just at a point where you can live life. Try to enjoy life, and a means to do that is by taking risks and getting scared and making that jump.
And sometimes realizing that the riskiest position is staying where you are.
Right.
Yeah. Not taking any risks at all. Yeah.
Very well said.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Kyle. Well done on your decision today to be great. Those are my kiddos in the background. Hey, if you want more of this kind of content, find me on social media. We'll keep the conversation going. You can hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, at StartWithWNTD. Again, at StartWithWNTD. We'll see you there.
All right, man. So we're going to get into the heart of the podcast here. You've had good success throughout your career in sales, crushing it.
I'd say so.
And you use that as a springboard to launch into building your own company. And I'm not sure if we mentioned this before, but you guys are having early success, which is great. Mm-hmm. Very, very exciting and promising for what's to come. And so you wouldn't have experienced any of that if you did everything wrong, right?
Touche, correct.
So talk to us, man. As you look back to your career, your story, your journey to date, personally, professionally, what are a few things that you've done right in your mind and in your time that kind of come to the top of mind?
So, it all boils down to experience. You got to find something that you're passionate about, and you can't do that unless you go and get that experience working different areas of the fields and stuff like that. So something I've always been passionate about doing is excelling when I'm working. And I can't wrap my head around people who don't put in effort at their jobs. You're there. Why not just make the most out of it? Try to make the most amount of money. Try to get, career advancements. I just don't understand people who have a job and they have, why not just make the most of it? Work hard. Try to make the most amount of money. Try to get that career advancements. You never know what type of launching off points that could give you from getting that promotion at this job. And even if you don't like it, well then again, try to make that change where if you're working really hard, you'll get that recognition and get moved into a different area that maybe you will like a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's always just about make the most out of your time, basically, is what that boils down to, is my long-winded way of saying.
Yeah.
You're there, you have only so much time, work hard, because you're there anyways. It's not like you could be playing, video games at home while you're at work. You're at work, so I know that's obvious, but that just blows my mind how people can work but not actually put in their most amount of effort to do it.
Yeah, man, I love the way that you phrased it. A lot of people talk about,